One. Great to be back here again, asking the question. I have two amazing, wonderful guests here joining us, Mrs. Alleyene and her daughter, Shonelle. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Wonderful. Thank you.
It's just wonderful to have you join us. It's very meaningful to share your story, and very kind of you to be able to do that. And Mrs. Alleyene, if you can, please tell us a little bit about the reverse mortgage that we were doing.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thanks to Sarah for all that she have done for me. I have no regrets. And it is all about having a reverse mortgage. And as I listen to her, she explains everything so clearly that you can really understand it. And and the way that she explained that you don't have to lose the home, and you would always have the deed. Everything, she went into details. There was nothing that she left out, and I appreciated that very much. And I did seek the Lord concerning it, really. And when I got the answer, I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And she did everything that was possible for me, and everything worked out in a very perfect way. And I thank her very much.
I truly am grateful, Mrs. Alleyene, and you have such a beautiful family. Your daughter, Shonelle, she had so many great questions, which is what I look for, because you came from a place of love and that care, Shonelle, and very precise, particular questions, which I love, because then you know that at least your family is looking out for you to make sure it's the right choice. So if you don't mind sharing, Shonelle, your thoughts on the reverse mortgage.
It's similar to what my mother said. I think as we learned about what the process actually was, I think you explained what it is before even going to what you wanted to do. It wasn't something that this is what it is. Okay, now this is what you have to do. There was still time to think about if it was actually would work for us.
Right.
And I think that was a big part. So after finding out exactly how it would work, having conversations with my mother, we came up with different questions as well, and we
Good
were thinking I think it's too many questions.
No, I loved it.
But then,
yeah,
that's the good thing also, is that when you always said there's never a bad question, so to speak, because there's always something to ask. So I think that was really good, and I know we did have quite a few.
No, I like the way you presented the questions, because it's important. Family to me is number one. I say faith, family. And Shonelle, you were terrific because of the fact that it's a decision that's based on how close you are as a family unit, to make sure with the reverse mortgage, there's education before we move forward. I mean, we pay for the appraisal, but our focus is pray over it, and then have that discussion within the family unit, and then education. So it's a government-sponsored program, and you have to go through the counseling before you do anything. So what I say is irrelevant. It's about, is it going to work for you? I mean, you own the home. You never lose the home, and you can have access to 50% of the equity, which leaves the remaining 50%. And you can make a mortgage payment or not. We were talking off-air about that.
Yes.
You get a statement, Mrs. Alleyene.
Yes, you do.
So did that change for you the dynamics of your financial, lifestyle choices, things that you want to do?
Yes, I would say, for one thing, I'm able really to build up my savings account. I can put more into my church, apart from paying my tithes, and which is very important, and help out in any way other than that. And it's really worked out very well. And the good thing about it is when we went for the counseling, and they explained everything.
Yes.
Not in a hurry, but they took the time and, asked questions if we really understand and all like that, which was really, really important. So I have no regrets. I really don't. And what I would say, I give God thanks for you, Sarah.
Well, I'm grateful, and for me, I truly am able to do things that I feel that try to, at least with eliminating fear. Education's important. When you have come on air and you've been kind enough to do that, as well as your daughter, that's meaningful, and that speaks volumes, because we all have different fears and different things that we go through, but without knowing the facts or hearing what it means to have a reverse mortgage, we can hold on to some past beliefs that are simply not true. So I've always said the education part is key. I really love that, because that leaves us not a part of that process. You choose. Once the education is done through the government, then you get the certificate. So then you decide.
Yes.
The family decides in your case, which was great, because you sign off on the certificate, we ordered the appraisal. And the nice thing about the reverse mortgage is that you can sell the property anytime, or if you are taking money out, you don't get taxed on it. That's huge. Like people always say, do I get taxed on it? And what are your thoughts, Shonelle, on just how things changed after doing the reverse mortgage?
I think it did help. We were able to do some things. I mean, depending on what you need any money coming back for, you do have a peace of mind in a way of not having to feel you have to struggle. If you were previously, maybe you weren't, but if you were having to pay the mortgage, your regular mortgage prior. Right. So it gives a little bit of a relief in that sense. And if there's things to even upgrade your home, if you wanted to do, or if you just wanted to take a little vacation that you haven't went on in years, perhaps, you don't have to spend all of what you have, but it's just a little comfort of knowing you don't have to come back and feel stressed about it afterwards. So.
Well, I mean, folks, you can always reach us at 1-800-662-9550, or our website. You can make an appointment, whether weekends or evenings. We're happy to be of service. It's www.mmcmtg.com. It's just nice to have you in the studio, but it's always, I was saying mothers and daughters. I don't know. I have like this thing. It's always nice to, I've had a lot of our listeners, nothing against fathers and sons, but it's just special just to see your relationship. And,
Thank you.
It is. And I think that faith is number one, and to be able to give back to your faith and community, that's very important. That gives you a sense of this joy.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
And I think that also doing certain things that you want to do, even if it's with the reverse mortgage, I've said to people, sometimes it's just a Social Security check. Maybe you want to go on that little vacation. Maybe you just don't want to work all these hours and not be able to give time to church and service.
Yes.
And that's important. That's primary. And your mom told me that you're the youngest of the nest.
Yeah, I am. Not feeling as young, but I'm definitely the youngest.
You look pretty young to me.
Thank you.
But you've taken such good care of the mom. Not that the mom didn't know what she was doing, but it's always nice to see that the family comes together, and praying over it is always important.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And did you have any other thoughts? We have probably about a minute.
Just to encourage people, if they hear it just as we heard it on the radio, and have that discussion about what you would want to do, and to call. You have to step out on faith and honestly, and just call and see what happens. It's nothing any different from if you did, and you only have regrets if you don't at least find out the basic information. So I encourage everyone, if you are listening, to just give Sarah a call.
And Mrs. Alleyene, I can't thank you enough for trusting us for doing the reverse mortgage.
Yes, you're welcome.
It means a lot to us. You know, I have to say, I love our listeners. I love you guys dearly for doing, this, coming on air. That is really a big thing. So I'm grateful. And you're always welcome back. But we're going for lunch the next time.
Yes,
I'm coming
definitely.
back.
I'm looking forward to that already. That'll be nice.
You can always reach us at 1-800-662-9550. Our website, www.mmcmtg.com. Ask the question. be curious, find out the facts, and everything is confidential. And with that, folks, stay well.